it's Chris Doucher for GeekNerdNet.com. I am at the inaugural Fan Expo San Francisco, and kind of super excited, more than super excited to be standing here with Frank Cho, illustrator extraordinaire. Hello, Frank.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great, man. Listen, the breadth of work you do, the schedule you keep, I can't even imagine how you have time to sleep. I can't be the first to ask you, how do you manage to just get it all in? And like on top of not just the big paying gigs and the commissions, everything else, you do the art sales as well. Talk a bit about that.
Well, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Classic Chappelle show. I love it.
No, I just like I'm a bit of a workaholic. I don't sleep much, so I just keep drawing and traveling nonstop.
Nice. So earlier this year, you had Fight Girls series. How long of a process was that for? I remember seeing it, when you kind of started throwing sketches out there on your account. From that to producing the comic and getting it out, what were some of the, what's the best way to put it? Like wins and lessons, not wins and losses, wins and lessons, I guess, from that series for you.
Well, I mean, Fight Girls is one of those projects that I've been thinking about for such a long time. I have about like over half dozen stories that I've written, and it's in my drawers. That I've been sitting on for about like 20 years at this point. And but because of my Marvel and DC contract, I just couldn't have time to do it. But finally, after when I finished Harley Quinn run, the covers, I had time to do my own creator-owned stuff. And AWA basically picked me up and asked me to do a creator-owned book with them. And so Fight Girl was on the top of my list that I wanted to do, and then I did it. And so I'm actually working on the second book. So Fight Girl it took a long time to gestate and come out if you really think about it. So but actually working on it took me about a year and a half or more, just to COVID happened and COVID screwed things up and all. But I mean it's one of those passion projects that's been just in my, it's been gestating and finally got out, recently.
Yeah, well, congrats on it. It's a gorgeous book, series, and looking forward to the next one, as you just said. But, and obviously, I have a ton of your Harley Quinn covers, and your work, and, when you're putting that stuff together, just ruminating on the ideas for Harley, is it fun in the sense when you get that aha moment every time?
Yeah, I mean, I basically started off as a syndicated comic strip cartoonist, writer artist. So my first career before comic book was I was essentially a joke writer. So all that Harley Quinn, I just tried to turn every cover into a sight gag, like a panel sight gag, like the Far Side. Yeah. So that's always been my goal.
Nice. And, the thing I love about your style, too, is, you think of these heroes, I'm looking at them always, like Harley Quinn, you got Wonder Woman, like your series, Fight Girls. These are strong women. So you build them strong. I'm touching my thigh as I do this. And that's the thing I love about it. And I've shown that work to a couple friends of mine. And they're like, oh, finally, someone who draws women, us, well, realistically. And that's a pretty cool thing to do. And when you're putting together, say, someone like Wonder Woman, are there many iterations to that when you start a character like an iconic character like that?
Wonder Woman is just started off as my love for Linda Carter. I mean, I grew up watching her show and just fell in love with her, and then over time, I just like very very strong women. So it's just that's just my natural default. I mean, I have really had no agenda. It's just that's how I drew, and that's how I always saw women as just beautiful, powerful figures.
Nice. Yeah, it's true. I mean, okay, I'll ask you this, and it seems like the canned question, but I have to ask you. And you've drawn so many characters over the years, and many to come. And maybe you can't say for right now, but if you can, are there a character or characters you haven't done that you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I actually wanted to do, at DC Comics, I wanted to do Lobo, Swamp Thing. And I guess I would love taking a crack at Wonder Woman as a writer-artist. At Marvel, I would have loved to have done Fantastic Four. I was a huge John Byrne Fantastic Four fan. And Conan. Conan was another big character I've always wanted to do.
Nice. That's great. Well, thanks for sharing that. And then obviously, like your Wolverine stuff you did with Marvel was awesome. I remember that, and being Canadian myself and the Knucklehead, anyway, awesome stuff. You're gonna have people coming to talk to you here, so I won't take too much more of your time. Frank Cho, thank you so much, and let people know where they can reach you and find you if they can't already. They should be able to.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Frank Cho Artist. So that's where I post a lot of my stuff.
Awesome. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.